Have you ever wondered why something that started as a choice can start to feel like it's choosing for you? Porn addiction isn't about morality. It's not a question of character or values. It's about how your brain learns patterns and what happens when those patterns become automatic. Let's start with what addiction actually means in the brain. It's when a behavior gets reinforced so many times that it becomes your default response to certain feelings or situations. You're not consciously deciding anymore. Your brain has created a shortcut. When we talk about porn addiction, we're talking about a cycle that's locked in. The behavior isn't occasional anymore. It's compulsive. You might want to stop. You might even try to stop, but something pulls you back. That's not a moral failing. That's your neurology doing exactly what it's designed to do. Seek reward, avoid discomfort, repeat what works. And porn works, at least in the short term. Here's what happens in your brain. Every time you experience something your brain considers rewarding, it releases a chemical called dopamine. Dopamine is often called the pleasure chemical, but that's not quite right. It's actually the motivation chemical. It makes you want things. It tells your brain, pay attention to this. This is important. Do this again. Food releases dopamine. Social connection releases dopamine. Accomplishing something releases dopamine. These are all things that helped humans survive. Your brain evolved to make you seek them out. Porn also releases dopamine, a lot of it. And here's why that matters. Porn isn't just rewarding, it's novelty on demand. You can see something new every few seconds, a new face, a new scene, a new video. Your brain is wired to pay attention to novelty because in nature, new things could be opportunities or threats. Either way, they matter. But in nature, novelty is limited. Now it's infinite. And every time you click to something new, you get another dopamine spike. You're not just watching, you're hunting, searching, anticipating. That anticipation is actually more powerful than the satisfaction. Think about this. The excitement peaks right before you click, not after. That's dopamine. It's the chase, not the catch. Over time, your brain learns a simple equation. Bored? Porn fixes it. Stressed? Porn helps. Lonely? Porn fills the gap. The behavior becomes a solution, and the more you use that solution, the more automatic it becomes. This is conditioning, the same process that makes you check your phone when you're waiting in line, the same reason you crave coffee in the morning. Your brain has linked a feeling with an action, and now the action happens almost without thought. But there's a cost. When your brain gets used to those high levels of stimulation, normal life starts to feel flat. Everyday activities don't trigger the same dopamine response. A conversation with a friend, a walk outside, working on a project. These things still release dopamine, but it's a gentler, slower release. Your brain starts to see them as less interesting, less worth your attention. This shows up as a loss of motivation. Things that used to matter don't seem to matter as much. You might feel restless or irritable. You might have trouble focusing on tasks that don't provide instant feedback. Your brain has recalibrated to expect a certain level of intensity, and reality can't compete. There's also emotional numbing. When you're constantly seeking high stimulation, you can become less sensitive to subtler emotions, connection, contentment, even sadness. They feel muted. Some people describe it as feeling disconnected from themselves, like they're going through the motions. Relationships often take a hit. Real intimacy is slow. It requires presence, patience, and vulnerability. If your brain has been trained on instant, high-intensity visual stimulation, real sexual connection can feel underwhelming or awkward. You might notice your mind wandering. You might feel pressure to perform in ways that match what you've been watching. Or you might avoid intimacy altogether because it feels too complicated compared to the simplicity of watching alone. And then there's the anxiety. Many people feel a constant low-level worry that someone will find out,
worry that they can't stop, worry about what it means. That anxiety often triggers more of the behavior, because the behavior temporarily relieves discomfort. It's a loop that feeds itself. So why can't people just stop? Because stopping isn't just about deciding not to do something. It's about breaking a neural pathway that's been carved deep into your brain. Every time you followed this pattern, you've strengthened it. The connections between certain feelings and this behavior have become highways in your mind. When you try to quit, your brain doesn't understand. All it knows is that something is missing. It sends signals, urges, cravings. These aren't suggestions, they feel urgent. Your brain is trying to get you back to the behavior because from its perspective, that behavior solves problems. This is withdrawal. It's your nervous system recalibrating. The first few days or weeks are usually the hardest. The urges can be overwhelming. Your mood might swing. You might feel anxious or irritable or empty, not because something is wrong with you, but because your brain is adjusting to a new baseline. Here's what most people miss. Willpower alone isn't enough. Willpower is a resource that runs out. If you're spending all day resisting urges, you're going to break eventually. That's not weakness, that's biology. Real change requires more than resistance. It requires rebuilding. Your brain is capable of something called neuroplasticity. That's just a fancy word for the brain's ability to change itself. The same way it learned this pattern, it can learn new ones, but it needs time and repetition. Recovery isn't about erasing the old pathways. They'll always be there in some form. It's about building new pathways that become stronger and more automatic than the old ones. This means replacing the behavior, not just removing it. If porn was your way of handling boredom, you need a new way to handle boredom. If stress was the trigger, you need another escape route. Exercise, creative work, spending time with people, learning something new. These all release dopamine in smaller, more sustainable amounts. And you also need to change your environment. Your surroundings are full of triggers. The time of day, the room you're in, the device you use, even the feeling of being alone. These are all cues that your brain associates with the behavior. You might need to rearrange your space, change your routines, or add barriers between you and access. Delete apps, use blockers, make the first step harder. And give it time. The brain doesn't rewire overnight. The first 2 weeks are rough. Urges are strong and frequent, but they peak and then they start to fade. After a month, they're less intense. After 3 months, they're more like background noise. After 6 months, many people report feeling like a different version of themselves, clearer, more present, more in control. Let's talk about a few practical shifts. First, stop treating this like a battle you have to win through sheer force. Instead, build a life that's interesting enough that porn isn't your primary source of stimulation. Fill your time with things that engage you. This isn't about distraction. It's about giving your brain better options. Second, learn your patterns. When do urges show up? What are you feeling right before? What time of day is hardest? You're not trying to judge yourself. You're gathering information. Once you understand your triggers, you can plan around them. If evenings alone are hard, make plans. If stress is the trigger, find another outlet before the urge even starts. Third, tell someone. Not everyone, just one person you trust. Isolation makes this harder. Shame grows when it's hidden. When you say it out loud to a human being, it becomes manageable. They don't need to fix it. They just need to know. Fourth, expect that this won't be perfect. If you slip, don't spiral. Don't treat it like proof that you're hopeless. Treat it like information. What happened right before? What can you do differently next time? Every setback teaches you something if you're willing to look at it clearly. Your brain is not broken. It's adaptable. It learned this pattern because the pattern worked. Now it can learn a different one. But you have to be patient with the process. You have to be patient with yourself. Change is possible, not because you force it, but because you create the conditions for it. one choice at a time, one day at a time. And it starts now.